So we're back here. Alright, this is the full moon lunar eclipse for July 16th. um, so I'll do my sidereal talk right now. This is sidereal astrology. This is astrology that's aligned accurately with the stars in the sky. So you have to do your research. Tropical astrology and sidereal astrology. And you're going to find out that tropical astrology, the mainstream astrology that we all follow, doesn't align with the stars in the sky. Yeah, and a lot of people are shocked when they find this truth out. And even when astrologers find out this truth, they don't reveal it to their clients, and they still say, your destiny is written in the stars and all this stuff like that. But that's not true if you're doing tropical, because you're not aligned with the stars. Sidereal aligns with the stars in the sky, with the constellations. So this is the ancient way of practicing astrology, because it's merged with astronomy. So what you see in the sky is what you see on your chart. They match. All right, and that's the astrology that I do, because I'm also an astronomer. Okay, so we're going to jump ahead here. If you saw my last video, I kind of predicted this. So we're going to start out with the full moon, then we're going to go into the transits for the whole week. All right, but right off the bat, this full moon, the moon's going to be in Sagittarius. Yeah, so tropical astrology is probably going to tell you Capricorn. Well, it's not Capricorn. I'm going to show you the sky chart in a minute, and we're going to see, I'm going to show you how to find the moon in Sagittarius. All right, and you're going to see it's not in Capricorn. All right, but what I noticed right away is like, and I started laughing, like I was on the last video, I was like kind of cracking up. I was like, oh God, this is a big deal. Because you have Moon conjunct Pluto. Alright, and this is part of the whole Pluto Saturn conjunct the South Node thing, which is like breaking down old systems and things that don't work and then rebuilding to a new, which is what we are discussing in all the videos, because there's a lot of Neptune node energy going on. So we're just kind of like putting that story together. But then we can also see that we have the Sun conjunct North Node and conjunct Venus in Gemini. So this is a exploration energy, feminine exploration energy. But you have a Saturn, you have a Pluto opposing Venus situation going on with the moon, with the full moon, with the lunar eclipse. So this is a lot of shaman power, shadow work that we're talking about. This is like deep shadow work. That's when you have Pluto with the moon or the sun. This is like deep power. When the moon is involved, it's like shadow work. So all the shadows are going to be coming up. All the stuff is going to be resurfacing. And I mentioned in the last video that it's going to be mainly like whatever came up for the last solar eclipse, which a lot of us felt was like sort of abandonment and aloneness. So now what's the shadow work with that? And then what's happening is Venus Pluto, when it comes in opposition, this is like Kali energy. This is for lack of a better word, this is the dark feminine or the shadowy feminine that can go out of control if it's not really worked, because that power is powerful. That's the power of creation through sexual energy, and if that power is not met with discipline, there's issues, and it's usually around in the area of feminine sexual manipulation. But if it's harnessed, it's an amazing creation, and amazing breakthroughs and amazing powers and all of those great things. And it just matters of the person's spiritual discipline. That's one of the things that it's important. So this person has spiritual discipline or not, or no discipline. So no discipline, they're going to be a wreck, and sexual energy and promiscuous and all these things will be happening. If they're powerful, then creation, and they'll meet the shadows, and they'll, like the image of Kali. I don't know if you can look it up if you don't know the image of Kali, but she has, heads, severed heads on her neck as a necklace, and she has a sword with it, and then she has a head on one side, and she has a sword on the other, because she's just slaying the heads. And what's that symbolizing is she's slaying the heads of the multiple personalities of the ego that embody the person. And a lot of times she's seen also on top of a man who's also like zombified and with an erection, and she's like, they're having intercourse, and she's like that, and her tongue is like red or black and blood and all that stuff. And that, if you don't know what that is, then it looks like kind of crazy, sexual, crazy, weird shit. But if you do know what it is, you know that she's slaying, it's an inner embodiment of the person slaying the dark ego, the multiple personalities of the ego that resides within you. So that's the energy that's going to be happening. And it's going to be a lunar eclipse. So it's a big deal. All right. And we're going to go through transits. We're going to see that there's a lot of feminine Venus work going on. But I want to point out, when the sun is conjunct Venus, it's the Venus Sun conjunction. And in mythology, in the descent of Inanna, that's when they say she goes into the underworld, because you can't see her anymore. But really, if you study cosmology and ancient mythology, the underworld and the living world, it's kind of flipped, because there's a lot of evidence pointing to that we are in this living world that we think we are actually in the underworld. So when Venus is said to go, Inanna is said to be in the underworld, she's actually with the sun, because you can't see her, so we think that she disappeared, right? So we say, oh, she's away, and then she comes back 9 months later. We start to see her again, like either a morning star or an evening star. It depends what the cycle is, but that's the story. So right now Venus is conjunct the sun, Inanna is conjunct the sun, so you can't see her, but she is getting solar power. She's being supported by the sun conjunct the North Node in Gemini. So Inanna, the feminine energy, the Venus energy, is having the information coming in, and she's exploring, right? And that's kind of what I'm seeing right now. And she's opposing the Pluto, and is it opposing the moon? Yeah, it's opposing the moon also. Yeah, because it's conjunct the sun. So it seems like Inanna is the Venus energy, feminine, is going to stretch out, and it's going to explore a little bit, and that might bring up some shadows, which is what we're going to see for the eclipse. So we're going to see how that's going to work out. But then Venus is also trining up on Neptune, and Neptune is retrograde in Aquarius. So what I wrote here was, trusting in spirit and the unknown, because when you trust in spirit, you have to trust in the unknown, because spirit energy doesn't come and says, here's the game plan for the day, you follow these guidelines. That's what Saturn does, right? So that's kind of like what's not happening. You have to trust in spirit with this crazy energy. So that's what I'm seeing playing out. Let's see. There was something going on with Chiron. Oh, we're gonna look at that. Yeah, there's a Chiron Mercury thing going on. There's some Chiron with Venus going on during the week also. So we're gonna just look at the transits for that, because that's what's important. Okay, so I'm gonna show you how to find the moon real quick, and then we're gonna move on to the transits. So just hang on 1 second. Okay, we're back. Let me move this around. Yeah, I'll put this here. So here we have the moon. So I'm going to show you how this works. So this is my astronomy software. We just key in the moon, find, and then it tells you the constellation that it's in. It's in this constellation Sagittarius, and you can see here that's the moon, and you can see here we're in the constellation of Sagittarius. You see? Let me go back. That's the constellation. This is Capricorn, and you can see that the moon is not in Capricorn, because if it was, it would be right around here. So it's not there. It's in Sagittarius. Now I'm going to show you how to find this. It's really easy to find, because if you're in dark skies, you have the Milky Way, and the Milky Way, it's that strip, and what you do is it's in the south, so it goes between southeast, southwest. That's, you're kind of like watching that whole thing go like that. And the funny thing is, and I talk about this a lot, is the constellation of Sagittarius does not look like a centaur, with a bow and arrow, even though that's how it's written. But there's a whole other reason for that, and that's a whole other video, because it's pointing to a pulsar in the galactic center, which is merging with another galaxy called Sagittarius Dwarf A galaxy. So, but we're not even gonna go into that right now, because that's like deep stuff. But what you're looking for to identify Sagittarius, which is kind of funny, is you're looking for a tea kettle in the sky. So in the galactic center, in the Milky Way, southern Milky Way, which is like really like kind of big and cloud looking, you're going to see a tea kettle that looks like it's pouring into the Milky Way. That is Sagittarius. And you're going to see the moon right by the handle, you see? Right here. And you're going to see Saturn is there also. And Saturn you're going to see as a red dot. And if you have a telescope, you'll see the rings. Alright, so that's just a quick cap of how to find the moon in Sagittarius, and it's not in Capricorn. Alright, so I hope this was useful. Alright, so let's move ahead to the transits. Close this. Move this over. So we have the transits up. Let's have a look. So the Sun-Pluto thing is ending on the 15th. The Saturn South Node, Neptune North Node, that was going on last week also. We already talked about that. Last week, the Venus was conjunct the Sun. So that was like the Great Father. Now she's opposing Saturn, which is the Great Wise Teacher of time and limitations and structure. So it seems like Venus is going through a little bit of, remembering structure, remembering limits, and remembering stuff like that, because we saw that there was an opposition with Pluto, which is what we're going to see. It comes into exact at the end of the week, okay, like on the 20th. So that was that sexual Kali energy we were talking about. That we would not in the last video, in the earlier part of the video. Sorry, I'm kind of spacing out. But yeah. So that's what we're kind of working with. And now we're going to see here, this is the eclipse. So on the 16th, looks like 4 hours, we're going to have a lunar eclipse. I'm not sure if we're going to see it from here, though. I forgot to look that up, but not 100% sure. But you can figure that out. But yeah, so Venus, Saturn, which is like the teacher and the muse. So there'll be that energy going on, which is like Venus revisiting structure, and then she's also, dealing with the power. So that's an interesting thing. So, and then you're gonna have Venus trines on Neptune, which is what we spoke about. So Venus this whole time is in Gemini, and Neptune is in Aquarius, ruled by Uranus, which is in Aries. So yeah, there's like strong movements that are going on, okay? And then the Sun at the end of the week is conjunct Mercury. All right, so this is that part of that solar power energy, and Mercury is in retrograde, and Mercury is in Cancer. Yeah, so so that's this there's some like clever energy going on there with with birthing, because Cancer is cosmic birthing. So a lot of people say Cancer is a protector and all that stuff, and I get it, and it's emotions, and I get that too. But the bigger picture in cosmology is Cancer is the Scarabaeus beetle of Egypt, ancient Egypt, which is birthing without a partner, with its cosmic birth, And that's the bigger picture, is because if you can remember, we spoke about all the eclipses, there was an energy there that felt abandonment, aloneness, and things like that. So now if you're dealing with cosmic birthing energy and you're kind of putting intellect into that part of the sky, into that understanding, you're going to realize, okay, you're not alone. Even if you feel alone, you're actually part of a big cosmic picture written in the stars. So that's the bigger picture. You're birthing energy like that, all right? And that's what I'm seeing the Mercury, Sun, and Cancer is. And Mars is still there as well. So yeah, it could be emotional, but I think the bigger picture is you're part of a bigger, dynamic, which is cosmic. All right? And that's where I think is going to settle the energy of us feeling alone and abandoned and not met by partners and things. And it's like, whoa, wait a second. I'm part of a bigger cosmic alignment. All right, and that's what you're here for. That's what you're here on Earth for. So Just opening that up for you. All right. So this week Venus is going to be going through some stuff. So it'd be wise for us to be available to the feminine energy. And Venus is in Gemini, so it's an exploring energy. And last week, in the early part of the video, the Venus opposing Pluto is the Kali energy. So we're going to be revisiting that again. All right. So all right. I think that's it for the video. I mentioned it in the last video, I think, but soon, coming up, probably after the summer, I'm going to be teaching a course, webinar style. So there'll be like 10 people, 10 people in the course, on Zoom. So sign up on my email list. Go to siderealastrologist.com, which is right down there, and then just get on the email list, and you'll be notified. If you're watching this on YouTube, hit subscribe. Right about now, my little face will come up with my telescope. That's my little channel button. Hit that, and join the Facebook group Sidereal Revolution, because I open up a lot of stuff on there. All right, so I hope this was good, and catch you guys on the next one. Thanks a lot.